Hey, Tom, thank you for doing this.
No problem.
Tell us a little bit about your character.
Well, Kevin Corcoran is, you see the world of the 5 Points and the rest of New York kind of through his eyes. He he's an Irish immigrant. He's American-Irish, is the way I like to put him across. He's gone through a hell of a lot before the show actually begins, and the show picks up when he's in the midst of his search to find out what's happened with his wife and daughter. His wife has disappeared, and his daughter is dead, and he doesn't know how or why she's dead. Yeah. So he found out about this whilst he was fighting in the Civil War for the North. He tried to get home, couldn't, and eventually managed to get his way back there and picked up the job that he had before.
Which is the copper of the time?
Playing a policeman and doing a hell of a lot of detective work. And there's a lot of times when his personal problems intertwine with the various cases that he has to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. Because there's a hell of a lot in 5 Points to focus on, because it's not the safest of places in the world.
Yeah. As I guess most people learn from Gangs of New York, which is a similar setting, well, same setting.
Yeah. Well, it actually, funnily enough, when Gangs of New York finishes, our show begins, because it's not too long after the draft riots, which, as you might remember, is where Gangs of New York finishes up. It's the sort of climax of the piece.
And this is 1864.
Yeah. And there's always the threat of riot in the show. There's always this sort of looming character, which is the fear that New York's going to burn to the ground. New York's going to become this just constant rioting arena, practically. Yeah.
Now, how much did you know about the period coming in? I mean, were you...
I didn't know all that much about it before I actually found out I got the part. I had seen Gangs of New York, obviously, so that was kind of as soon as I saw Gangs of New York, I was so enthralled by it. I thought that was great, but I don't like to compare the two, because I think visually and in terms of plot as well, they're very, very different. Yeah. They're going to be two very different beasts. I think Gangs of New York is fantastic. I'm not saying that it's a bad film. I'm just saying this is something else.
But again, it's a touchstone for people who aren't yet familiar with this show.
And
but it's very much its own.
Kind of, all I had to go on. And then from then on in, I started to research the history of things, and I find American history. I've done various research into American history in modern times, sort of like the Vietnam War, other various things. But to research this was so interesting, because it was such a desperate time, such a harrowing time for a lot of people, because the Civil War was one of the most violent skirmishes. You can't really call it a skirmish, you just call it a life-changing, country-affirming thing. It really set America up to be what it's become. Yeah. And that's what I think you get from the show as well, is that you see how New York is slowly on its way, crawling to become what it is today. Yeah. And
the multiculturalism of it too really informs that. I mean, it forms the character of 5 Points. Yeah. All of these different people coming together.
Sandwiched together, sort of stitched together and told to get along. Yeah. But the kind of research I did as much historical research as I felt necessary, and quite a lot of it, did a lot of reading. And I also looked into boxing, because Corcoran used to be a bare-knuckle boxer beforehand. He didn't reach celebrity status around the world with it, because people really did reach that sort of height of fame with bare-knuckle boxing. He was more of a scrapper, really. He was more a bit of a bruiser. And one fight, which is mentioned in the show, against Mike McCool, who was actually a real bare-knuckle boxer, quite a popular one, and Corcoran managed to knock him out. And they fought for about 60 rounds, which when I read the script, I went, 60 rounds, that can't be possible. But they would go up to 100 rounds.
And this was brutal. I mean, bare knuckle.
Yeah, bare knuckle boxing. Sometimes it was just toe to toe, so you were just sandwiched together and couldn't move your feet. And there's more rules about the actual gambling aspect than there is the safety of the fighters. Well, I mean, there was. Yeah. There was. You could wear spikes on your shoes as well as a method. It was really, really dangerous. And I did a lot of boxing work after that. Did a lot of training for it. This
is such a detailed set. I mean, it's quite remarkable. Yeah. The amount of detail. Does that, as an actor, really sort of help you be in the moment and be in the time?
Yeah, hugely. I mean, what's nice is that you feel like you don't have to pretend to be in the time, because you're ignoring the fact that you're anywhere but in the here and now, if you know what I mean. So you don't have to put on these airs and graces that you think people would have had back then, because you're just dealing with the person in front of you and dealing with the scene, which is it's just what you want. You want to strip it down to its bare essentials and make it as simple and as easy and as direct as possible. And I think that's the set helps hugely with that, because you just feel it's become sort of second nature to you to just put the jacket on. It's the same as the costume as well. It makes you move differently. And it just helps you throw yourself away and pick up someone completely new very easily.
Yeah. And it relieves the burden of taking people, because I mean, really, your job is to make a character that the audience can relate to, a contemporary audience can relate to, because people are people.
I agree. I do agree. I think people's sensibilities haven't really changed all that much throughout history. We all kind of want the same things. It's just it's just what we do and how we do it to get those things that have changed. So I think people should keep that in mind whenever they watch something historical or try and put something on historical. That I don't know. I don't like watching historical pieces when you can see everyone's affected, and it doesn't have a very it doesn't relate. There's sort of like a bit of a blur between modern times and.
It keeps the audience at arm's length.
Yeah, it does. It kind of separates makes the audience feel stupid in a way, I suppose, which is just completely.
Or like they're in school.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
You don't want that either.
Exactly.
You want them to get absorbed in the drama of what these very human characters are doing. Again, I can't wait to see this thing finished, because just wandering around this set is just an incredible experience.
Yeah. I actually haven't seen anything yet. I've only seen a trailer that they've mocked up, which I got so excited. I'm just having a hell of a good time on it and sort of pinch myself every day, really. It's just sometimes I think about what we're doing here, and it's just, it is a total dream. It's crazy.
Great.
It's really crazy. And the team that's behind not only the sort of the people that came up with the idea for it, but the people that are putting it into production are just they are so thorough and also very truthful to what the original scripts were, and these characters, they know these characters inside out as much as we do. So I feel like I'm in very safe hands here, which is lovely. Really, really good working environment to be in.
Yeah. Well, best of luck with that. I hope it goes on for years and years and years.
Yeah,
you can go right all the way from 1864 to 1964.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Corcoran's got an extremely extended lifespan.
Yeah, for some reason. Maybe he can have like a Zimmer frame by the end of it, but he's still kicking ass. We'll see.
Thank you so much for doing this, my friend.
No worries. Thank you.
Good to meet you.
You as well. Take care of yourself.